Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language episode 707.
The 707ist podcast. What that 707 stands for something. Isn't that like a brand?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking like
Could be.
lucky number 7. Seven monkeys.
Yeah. A plane.
7 deadly sins.
I don't think there was a 707, but was it 707 was James Bond, wasn't it?
That was 007.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to apologize up front to everybody because I'm probably going to hack my brains off through this whole thing.
We're good. Everyone's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You know why, Brian?
No.
Because we're back, baby.
Right. Well, they're like, Brian, you haven't been around for like 18 weeks and you still have this cough. Yes, I do. So apparently it is literally a plague.
It's eternal.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I got to lead with the big thing. You know, there was a major loss in my life. You know, George Wendt died yesterday. So
that is devastating. I'm not going to lie.
No, I know I was definitely going to talk about it, but yeah. For anyone who doesn't happen to know at this point, I did post a thing on our Twitter at one point, but I lost my mom, unfortunately. And, you know, obviously, you know, the family's a wreck, but we're also finding, you know, the strength in each other. And I think, you know, we're quickly finding the silver lining in that I think we're realizing how much closer we need to be.
Yeah.
You know, like we're fairly close, but I think we're really like we're all like making sure there's hugs and I love yous and, you know, the things that you take for granted, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, and that's, you know, it's unfortunate times like this that bring family together again.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, and like the other day, you know, my sisters were coming over because we needed to figure out the insurance stuff because we cannot find the insurance policies my mom had. And I know, you know, I don't know if you know, like my mom was not one to ever throw stuff like that away.
Yeah.
And she always kept her stuff together and we still have not found them. Luckily, for anyone who hasn't gone through this, first of all, I hope you don't have to, but we're all going to have to at some point. But
not unless I go out first.
Right, that's the move. Yeah. But you if you call the insurance company and just give them enough information, they can find policies and stuff. So they can actually handle that without because we didn't know who the beneficiary was. We didn't know anything. We didn't know the amount. We had no clue. So I called one company and they were like, well, she had a policy like 100 years ago, but you know, we cashed that one out. And then I called this other paperwork she had and they're like, no, you actually want this other company. So I called them and I'm like, I sure hope there's a policy there. And the woman's like, oh yeah, it's right here. You're the beneficiary and here's the amount. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, but while we were doing that, my brother that's from my dad's first marriage, so my half brother, not one of my mom's kids, even though she saw him as a kid, one of her kids, but you know, like legally, he's not one of the decision makers. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So, but he calls or texted me and was like, hey, do you like Lebanese food? And I'm like, or Mediterranean food. And I'm like, yes, as long as it doesn't have feta on it. Like, I don't like feta, but
he's
otherwise
all feta up with it.
Right. And he goes, you're good with garlic. And I'm like, oh, bring it on. Like, I'm fine with garlic. So he showed up and he goes, well, I'll take you to lunch if you want. And I was like, well, you know, everybody's over. So he brought like a mess of food over. You know, he brought over like, you know, a double order of like gyro meat and rice and veggies and salad. And then another one that's chicken shawarma with veggies and salad. And then he brought over like two big pieces of cheesecake, some baklava, you know. So
I mean,
he really
that Zane's cheesecake's pretty good, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So he showed up with all that, and I was like, man, the problem was that, like, you know, we were all kind of upset. Nobody really was hungry. But I was like, well, I guess I'll just have Lebanese food for a couple days. No worries there.
I would definitely be sad eating.
Yeah. Yeah. One, I've now smashed the and you know the thing is, I've had lamb before and I've never been a big fan of it. Like usually if I go to a place and I'm gonna get gyros, I don't get lamb. I usually just get if they have a beef option or
chicken
or something. But it's a lamb beef combo, I think.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Oh,
yeah. I smashed. I took one piece, you know, took a bite first because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And I'm like, well, worst case scenario, I figure I holler at you and be like, hey, come get some free food, you know?
Yeah.
But
I would.
Yeah. But as soon as I tasted, I'm like, oh, hello there, So, but he ended up staying. He got here at like 11:30. He stayed until like 11 that night. I mean, he hung out, and he's gone through this before with his mom.
Yeah.
Because he was in charge of all this stuff, so he was answering questions for us and just whatever he could, whether it was just support. We just had random conversations, all that kind of stuff. So it was really nice. I haven't hung out with my brother like that. For that length of time in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. And him and I have actually been kind of chatting back and forth a little more. By the way, I sent him a picture of your teeth shirt.
Yeah.
Because I was explaining that to him, and he cracked up pretty hard at the teeth shirt. Teeth. So and it's been. I've very much have not learned. I already knew how blessed I am with the support system I have.
Yeah.
Because there's you and Jen and Jeannie and my family, obviously. Other friends of ours from whatever, people I play that word game with have reached out to me privately just to make sure I'm okay. People on Twitter have, and whatever, for old friends, from high school and different stuff have all reached out. And because some of them knew her too, because they knew her from back then or whatever,
Yeah.
So it's, I've gotten a lot of love. And then looking at all the comments everybody's made on her Facebook page and stuff, it's just like you and I talked about this years ago about like with our dads, how, because both of our dads were basically like the mayors of Toledo kind of thing.
Yes.
Knew everybody.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to have tons of people telling you, hey, your dad wasn't a piece of shit,
Yeah. Like,
right?
Like vindication.
Yeah. You're like, he was a great guy. He did all this. And I assume that's what I'm going to be hearing.
Yeah,
next
for sure.
week,
Yeah.
Because I just can't imagine anybody. I mean, first of all, they're not going to say anything rude about her, but you know what I mean? Like, I know my mom was very well liked, So, but the other thing that it's really done is it's made me realize how much, sorry for the people who don't know, my former co-host on The Crazy Life, Jen, and I dated for a long time. We've known each other since high school.
Mm-hmm.
She was with me when my dad died. And what it's made me realize is how much she shouldered for me, how much she helped me through that, because I don't have that dynamic in my life currently.
Right.
So I'm handling, everybody else has got someone to go home to. I have a cat that ignores me. Yeah. Right?
Do you want another cat to ignore you?
No, I'm good. I was at my sister's watching a hockey game with my nephew last night, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm late giving Callie treats, and my sister's like, oh, is she gonna give you attitude? So I came home, gave Callie the treats. She immediately went to the other end of the couch and turned her back to me and sat there. So I sent a picture to my sister. I'm like, see? I was like,
oh, what a bitch.
Yeah. It's interesting because Callie has just gone on. Like she's just kept her routine basically. It's very weird. Most cats, you kind of see them like looking and maybe they'll call out, or she did a little bit when my mom first went in the hospital.
Yeah.
But she pretty much is getting up with me. She comes to me on the couch, lets me pet her for like 5 minutes, and then I don't see her again till it's time to feed her again.
Of course.
That's basically that's our dynamic, I guess.
I mean, it's
when
it's
I could really use
dynamic.
No, but when you could maybe use a little cuddle,
Yeah, that's
maybe
true.
she can hang out with me for a few minutes, but nah.
Boy, kidding me?
No. If it's not serving her,
yeah, she's got shit to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've always loved cats, though, is because they're assholes.
They are indeed assholes.
They choose us, 100%. But anyway, so I actually reached out to Jen and thanked her again, for that, because I was like, I didn't realize that. And I mean, I'm going to be just, we'll trust me, folks, we'll get to dick and fart jokes here, but
we've said this before and it went hard.
Well, last week, remember I started off kind of, or last time I should say, I started off a little. But anyway, yeah, it's just been rough, real rough. And, with I wish my mom could have died in the comfort of her own home, but I'm also glad she didn't for my sake.
Yeah, that's fair. You've already done that once. Yeah.
Walking around the house. Remember, I had to get out of that house because it was just too much.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there are memories everywhere here.
Of course.
But you know, it's all punch in the gut, but it's in the best way. You know, like finding something that is like overly taped, and it makes me laugh because my mom she taped everything. If it was coming loose, she'd tape it. You know, like that was her thing. You know, so
she must have trained a maintenance department at my work.
So, you know, my sister and I are looking for some picture frames to use, and she finds one. Oh no, it was a picture of our uncle. And Chrissy goes, "Oh, I'm gonna take this picture out so we can get a better picture of it." You know, I was like, "Okay," and she goes, "Oh, never mind." She goes, "Mom taped the hell out of this," and I'm like, "Of course she did."
Well, yeah, tape is life.
You know, but you know, it's man, it's you know, I'm the worst part in this whole thing. I mean, obviously, losing your mom's the worst part, right?
Well, yeah, for sure.
But I lost my mom. I'm sick.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, how the hell am I going to financially survive here? Because, I mean, I'm going to have to figure something out, right? Whether it's a job or blah, 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 whatever it is. But the problem is I don't have a giant window.
Embrace your horse side.
Yeah, right. Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. What I'm saying is patreon.com/saltylanguage. Help your boy out. No.
Also, Bryan.
I will say this. If anyone does want to do something like that, fine. But I'm in no way asking or encouraging.
Bryan, I can't take it anymore. You keep setting me up. Did you check behind the couch? God damn it.
Yeah, she's not there, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, all right.
Although I'd be very terrified if she... No, absolutely. Yeah.
You said it like 30 seconds into the show, and I was like, this is an important moment.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, yeah, we've been friends long enough that you know that anything is fair game.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But I couldn't pull my punches anymore.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate the restraint you showed, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
You were like, I've got to at least try to be an adult for 5 minutes.
I mean, we're at 17, so I'm good.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Some of that's dead air from us setting up, but
true. Oh man, but you know, it just sucks to have to worry about that external stuff on top of just, you know, like right now, it's you know, making phone calls and notifying this and that and setting the funeral, you know, all that crap.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's enough. You know, that's a lot. It's emotionally draining. It's stressful. Plus, I've got to grieve in here somewhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to fit that in.
Oh, wait, sorry, I'm a guy. I mean, bury it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, bury it until it, like, forms like poison diamons.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The pressure.
Yeah.
Trust me, I got some diamonds going on.
I'm sure we both do, yeah. But that's why, you know, I posted something the other day that was just like, hey, you know, for last week, that was like, hey, you know, no show. Because I just wasn't, it wasn't that I couldn't have done it probably, but I would have been like, just so...
I mean, we were supposed to, you were supposed to come over and do it live.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously I woke up with that news.
Yeah.
And of course I'm not going to be like, so you still coming over for the show? Because you know,
right. Do you know, I
this
honestly
free program we put out is
right
the end all be all. If you, honestly, I was waiting. You know, I was like, I did radio silence because I'm like, I you know, I don't know what he's doing right now, and if he wants to reach out and come over still, he'll let me know.
I don't even remember. Was Saturday? I think Saturday was the day I went over to my sister's because she had everybody over. We watched the Walleye, which for those who don't know is our local hockey team. They had a game. It was an away game, so everybody went over to my sister's and we got pizza, and it was a real roller coaster of a night. You know, there was you know, we had some sads which we needed. We had some, you know, hollering at the hockey game, you know, getting caught up in that, and we all had some laughs. You know, my nephew's kids were goofing around and we were laughing and enjoying that. And it was like, you know what? It's like, this is exactly what our mom would want.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This, you know, because, you know, my mom was absolutely all about her family.
Yeah,
I mean,
ride or die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that was her biggest, you know, badge of honor was She was so proud of her kids, her grandkids, her great grandkids, other people's kids and grandkids. You know, it's like, I mean, you know it.
Yeah, I know.
She would ask me how your kids were and, you know, stuff too. It wasn't even, you know, it didn't just stop with direct grandkids. It was a, you know, like, well, you know, our dynamic's different because, you know, we see each other as family. She's always seen you as family anyway. But you get my drift on that. Is she would still ask about other people's kids, you know? Like a woman that is in my word game group, her sister just had a kid, and it was a little sketchy for a minute there. And my mom would ask me how things were going with that, you know, like that kind of thing, you know, because she cared. Right. Yeah. So, you know, but it was like, you know, we get to the funeral home yesterday, and I have a hard time sitting, because, you know me, I don't tolerate bullshit well.
Yeah.
I want to speak out when bullshit happens. And that's the things I'm walking in and I go, I know half of what's going to be going on here is predatory.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to not push it hard. You know, they're going to do their job, which is, hey, these things exist.
Studies show families who love their loved ones get this package. Right? Like, oh, shit. We did love her.
Yeah. Well, I guess. No, he's like, he's the we love our mom package, or the we're giant pieces of shit and we hate her and hope she rots in hell package.
Exactly.
Take your pick. I'm like, well, why? No, it wasn't anything like that.
Why is the hell one more expensive? Way more perks.
Because and sinners gotta pay. That's why. But, you know, we got through that okay, and it still sucked. Like, the whole time, there were different things. Like, you know, we're having her cremated, but we wanted to do a showing, because originally my siblings were talking about not doing that, and I said, hey, I'm going to just throw this out here. I said, don't, because they were like, well, other people. I'm like, don't worry about other people. I'm like, we got to worry about what we want and what we think honors her, right? From there, people will just have to deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's not there unless they want to pay for the funeral, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Right? So, and I told him, I said, I've been to a few funerals, like your dad's, where there was no body. And it's weird.
It is weird.
Some people cannot, that's not closure for them. And that bothers people, right? My mom's sister, when she died, she was cremated. There was no body there. My mom, it bugged the hell out of my mom. Like, she did not like how she never felt full closure.
Okay? Right.
So I told my siblings, I'm like, do you need that closure? If you do, let's do a showing. Otherwise, do whatever, you know, because as far as mom goes, she wanted us to do whatever was cheapest. She told me that countless times since I was a little kid.
Right.
If anything happens to me, blah, 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 you know, do what's cheapest, right? That was basically what she always said.
Here's some coupons.
Same as I've said. Right. Same as I've said. I'm like, just find a shallow ditch and throw my body in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
leave me for the vultures, like I lived in India or something, please.
Right. But it's like, you know, for like, they have these tubes for if you want to like spread the ashes, and it's basically a cardboard tube that has, you know, a lining, so it's secure, of course, for the ashes.
Wait, does it have ribbons and a firework?
Dude, I wish that would be awesome.
That's great.
Right. Well, I was joking that my brother should take some of her ashes, and she wanted to go back on a motorcycle ride with him, but because of her vertigo and everything, she was afraid of falling off.
I mean, that's understandable.
Right. Yeah. So I told my brother, I said, you should take some of her remains and go on a bike ride. Yeah. And him and the funeral director thought I was meaning like open a canister and just go 90. And the funeral director goes, yeah, I've heard of people doing that. And I was like, no. I was like, I just meant like, you know, have a little tube of it or something in your pocket. So mom is going on the bike ride with you. But also, I mean, if you want to spread them that way, listen, my mom had a nickname of Hot Rod.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. You know, she used to dust people in my dad's Super Bee and different kind of race cars my dad had. Like, he used to let her, and my dad used to like literally like, you know, go to the track and race cars.
Yeah.
You know, like one-on-one. And he used to let her run his race cars so she could handle it. So it was like, she was known for having a lead foot and liking speed, you know? So right. It's like, that actually is kind of appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. Yeah, we've heard of people doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so funny to me that the funeral director was like, actually, that doesn't, it was like, one of the questions is like, do they have a pacemaker or a metal hip or anything like that? And, my brother-in-law was he was like, what happens with that stuff? He goes, I know you can like donate pacemakers to like third world countries. They cannot be put into another human in this country, but they can go to a third world country and be used in other people there. And the funeral director goes, yeah, he goes, we've had so many people want to know if they could get like hips or knees from their loved one so they can maybe make a piece of art out of it or something. I was like, what?
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, dude, sick bracelet. Where'd you get that? That's fucking dad's hip bone.
Yeah,
what?
Right. Yeah. And I was sitting there. The first thing I thought at that point was like, we should get a funeral director on here because I want to hear some stories. Nothing, of course, that violates anyone's privacy. But I want to hear like, what's the weirdest shit you've ever, been asked?
Any hot corpses you just couldn't resist?
Yeah. Any non-hot corpses you couldn't resist. That's where the real story is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like you couldn't even wait.
Yeah.
Oh man. But anyway, so this tube for scattering, the big tube, it's like $215. It's basically a cardboard tube.
Can't you just bring your own cardboard tubes and just just pack them yourselves?
I was like, you're outside your. Well, actually, my sister at one point, we asked the director to step out for a minute. My sister, who lost a couple of kids to drug overdoses years ago, or to fentanyl overdoses, she was like, you can just pick up the ashes. She's like, they put them in a container.
Yeah.
That's like a hard plastic urn, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, and we're all like, then why aren't we, like, okay, let's do this then. Because the plan, I think, is to scatter the ashes. I don't know that we're going to keep any or what, but, we'll figure that out down the road. But for now, it was like, yeah, let's do that then. We'll save $200 that way. And again, Mom would be like, why are you paying $200 for a tube?
For sure, right?
So the weirdest thing was my mom always told us, do not put socks or shoes on her or she would come back and haunt us.
That's hilarious.
Because, my mom always was barefoot.
Yeah.
Like you think about it, she wears shoes when appropriate, but she would go outside in, the winter with just bare feet. She'd go out in the yard all the time, bare feet. She hated socks. She didn't like her feet being warm. So, the guy was like, well, when we're giving him the clothes we want her to have, and he's like, you don't have, pantyhose or socks or anything of that. And we're like, no. And then we told him why. And he goes, oh, well, let's for sure not do that.
Yeah. Until like he does.
Yeah. Damn him.
Can you imagine that?
Anyway.
You're just, I told you no socks and shoes. Damn it. That wasn't me.
Yeah. Right? Like, I swear we told him no.
Like, I swear to Jesus Christ.
Hold on. Let me get the paperwork with the itemized, with the inventory, Oh, man. Yeah, that was rough, man. We for sure didn't expect it. We were literally being told she was going to be coming home within a day or so.
Yeah, that's like the last I heard was everything seems to be on the up and up.
Yeah, they had gotten her up, walking around a little bit, and they were going to discharge her probably within a couple days. And then we got a phone call, and I'll tell you that, the weirdest thing that night was, I'm a big believer in you're where you're supposed to be. Like sometimes you miss an intersection and then you find out there was an accident there, kind of thing. That's happened to me various times in my life. And I'm not one to believe in like woo type stuff, but I'm very much how it is, like right now, like with me for a long time, I was like, man, I feel like I'm a waste. I'm not doing this. I'm not blah, blah, blah. And my therapist is like, you're providing companionship for your mom. You're helping her, and going down the list of things that's like, yeah, hey, dummy, you're where you need to be right now. You're helping to take care of your mother. So, and stuff like that. So anyway, on the way to the hospital, I mean, my brother-in-law is going, I don't even know, 90, 100. I don't know. I mean, he's flying. And we get, sorry for going local here, folks. We get to the roundabout that's over by Collingwood Water.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you know how you go left there to go toward the St. Vincent's Hospital?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go there. There was an accident right there. So we go up. We weren't thinking. We went up to the first street, and then partway down, I'm like, ah, shit. I'm like, this is just gonna take us back. Like you have to go like to the light, I think, or maybe a little further down, something like that, to get past the roundabout, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it basically leads you back to the roundabout. And you know, and you know, my brother-in-law is kind of freaking out about, like, you know, he's pissed that we're not getting there because he's wanting to get us there as quick as he can, just in case, right?
Of course, yeah.
Because we don't know what we're walking into, other than at 3:15 they got a call that our mother was in cardiac arrest. So anyway, so we get there, you know, we get to the hospital. I'm not going to go through that whole thing because I'm not sure I can do that without crying like a baby.
That's fair.
So, but when I saw that accident, I had dude, I had a moment of calm come over me, and I was like, fuck. I was like, she's gone. And when we got to the hospital, about the time we would have been hitting right there, right a minute or two later, is when she was gone. And I was like, yep, we were right where we were supposed to be, which was not at the hospital.
Right.
We weren't supposed to know there was chaos going on in that room as they tried to save our mother's life. And, you know, they wouldn't have let us back there to, you know, we wouldn't have seen anything.
No.
But just, can you imagine still being in that lounge knowing that some shit's going, you know, you hear all the lights and shit, you know, all the things going off and people running around. And when we got there, everything was calm, you know, so we were right where we were supposed to be. I firmly believe that. I'll tell you, the only part that really kills me is from being sick. I couldn't be up there.
Right.
You know, I really wish I had gotten, I mean, I talked to her on the phone as much as I could, and I wish I could have had a chance to hug her. You know, I hugged her the day she went into the hospital. That was the last time I hugged her, and that was, 3 weeks ago now, you know? So,
right.
And that's a real kick in the dick, you know, that's the last hug I'll ever get. But, you know, what are you going to do, right? No matter what, it was always going to be the last whatever.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you are 100% correct, you know?
Right? And I told her I loved her, you know, the last time I talked to her and all that kind of shit. And, you know, that's all you can do. And all I can do is implore anybody, especially now as someone who's lost both parents. First of all, if you have kids and you have shit, please get your shit handled. Like, please get a will. Please get everything in one spot so that your kids can just not have to dig through piles of paperwork.
But also, that probably happens so much more than people realize.
Oh God, right. But also, you know, obviously, tell your mom and dad that you love them. You know, give them hugs when you can, because you're gonna miss it someday, real bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So that's basically been my week. You know what's the weirdest part through this whole thing?
What's
kind of shifting gears here?
Is,
dude, almost every day I've been up before noon. I've been up at like 11 o'clock almost every day, because everything my siblings are doing
is during the day.
They're morning people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, you know, what am I going to do? I can't. And for like the funeral home, we all had to be there and sign the paperwork.
Right.
Because none of us is an executor. So we all have to make the decisions, and who knows how that's going to...
It's got to look like the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, dude, seriously.
Jesus.
But you know, it's funny. You know, gallows humor, right?
Of course.
So we're sitting in the funeral home, and the guy's like typing in our names. He asked me my name, and, you know, Bryan Stewart, whatever. And he goes to type son, and I was like, can you put favorite, son? And, you know, my brother Jimmy was like, hey, you know, and I was like, did she have a sweatshirt with your face on it? Because she has one with my face on it. And the funeral director was like, really? And my sister goes, yeah. She goes, we were going through her closet, and I forgot my mom had that. I didn't even know she still had it. She had that thing years ago. Dude, that picture on there, I was probably, I don't know, 10, 12.
That's hilarious.
You know? Yeah. So I've been doing that in different times where something will happen, and I'll introduce myself as her favorite son.
I mean,
or her favorite kid.
Yeah, I think that's the best move.
I do too. And I mean, you know, let's be honest here. I was. I was her favorite kid. But anyway, yeah. So but yeah, this is tough, bro.
Of course it is. I think it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. go first.
Noted.
Just tell your mom, hey, I love you.
I'm already not looking forward to waking up for work tomorrow. So
right, yeah, like I'm taking a header off a bridge tonight.
Absolutely.
Oh fuck.
Yes.
Then, like in my word game group, I'm going through this, and everybody's supportive and all this, and then another woman like this morning posted her mom passed away. I was like, fuck, like. All right, I was like, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, it happens every day, unfortunately.
Well, first of all, I'm like, hey, quit trying to steal my thunder.
Also, yeah, this movie just came out.
Yeah, it's like, I'm kidding, of course, on that.
What is this, Dante's Peak and Volcano?
I know, yeah. Or back when, you remember, like, when something would happen with the, what was that? What was that dude's name? Joey Buttafuoco.
Oh,
you remember when there was like, or what was that woman's name that shot his wife?
Amy Fisher.
Amy Fisher.
Amy Fisher.
Remember, NBC had their version and CBS also had their version, and it was a race to get one out before the other.
Yeah.
I miss those days of TV where they were like, we got to get ours.
TV's just not cool anymore.
Well, you see it a little bit. Like
it is. I have a show I want to talk about, but.
All right.
Yeah.
With like Diddy in his trial, there's like 14 different like true crime shows about that, or so they still get after it, but it doesn't feel like it did when we were kids, Where it was like it happened, and like you'd hear like the next day on Entertainment Tonight or whatever, they'd be like, NBC's got their Amy Fisher story, in production, and you're like, it happened like 2 days ago. Or the Menendez brothers or OJ trial or whatever,
So last week at work, I'm just walking through, and my friend Tim yells at me. He's like, hey, Tony, come over here. I'm like, yeah, what's up, Tim? He's like, you like your nipples pissed on? I went, what?
That's a hell of a question.
And apparently that's something that Diddy enjoys, allegedly.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he just,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. How's this?
I mean, we knew he drinks only the finest breast milks.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great question to ask.
I know, right?
It's a good first date question.
It was, Yeah. Do you like your nipples pissed on?
If they say no, date's over.
Yeah,
date's
over.
Walk out like that dude on that one documentary.
Yeah, the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those natural breasts? No. So date's over.
Yeah, we're done here.
Like, wow, all right.
Oh my God. Well, imagine that poor young woman's thought. Well, she probably knew what she was getting into. Billionaire.
Yeah. I was gonna say, on one hand, she was like, oh, thank God.
But
also like
Anna Nicole Smith and that corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you're kidding. Oh man. Yeah, it's really funny because I keep me, man, shit's funny, it's funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gallows humor till the day I die. Well, honestly, till the minute I die, because I'll still be cracking jokes as long as I'm mentally able to. But it's still also a reminder of like not everybody's okay with this.
Dude, I got bit in the ass by one of these like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
It was one of our Fridays, or after work lunch situations.
Yeah.
And one of the dudes was late. It's the kid who's the same age as Logan, our young engineer. He was late, and everyone's like, Ethan, why are you late? And I'm like, it's probably because he's got like a fucking club foot or something. Turns out he does.
Oh, no.
He's like, oh, I do. And I went, no.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I picked like the most oddest ailment, and you happen to have that.
Abort. Yeah. You're
I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to be funny, and now I'm an ass.
You're like, date's over, and you left.
Yeah. I wanted to leave, dude. I felt like shit.
That's the old, what was that, Southwest Airlines or whatever, where it was the want to get away?
Yeah, yes.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I've been there, too. The one that always will stand out in my head was when I went for that job interview when Kelly worked at that one loan place across the street from where I worked at Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
And when I went in there and the guy was talking about something, we were talking about degrees, and I was like, yeah, it's not anything silly like theology or something like that. And he turns and points, literally has a theology degree. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not getting hired.
Yeah. Mr. Dumbass.
Yeah. It's Dumas. Oh. Oh, dude, my foot. I had my foot so far in my mouth it was up to my hip, you know.
Speaking of feet.
I didn't get the job, but it wasn't because of that.
Right.
Because he didn't hire me because I really wasn't that qualified for it, was what it turned out to be.
He sounds like a dick.
He was.
There you go. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
All right, let's hear time for the foot fetish update.
So speaking of feet, Brian. So
as we always do.
This is 2 weeks now. A friend of mine at work, I'll call him to protect the innocent, Rodrigo.
You mean the Rodrigo? No.
So Rodrigo.
Like the guy's name's actually Rodrigo.
Yes. So Rodrigo and his wife go on vacation to Florida.
Yeah.
Right? Gone a week. Perfectly normal. Fast forward to that Monday. I'm looking for Rodrigo because he runs a department and I need to ask him a couple questions about some stuff, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh no, Rodrigo, you didn't hear? I'm like, what do you mean you didn't hear? So Rodrigo has the beatus.
Okay.
And has neuropathy in his feet.
Okay.
Can't feel his feet.
Right.
Right. So he's like, because I heard the whole story verbatim from him today.
Okay.
Everything I heard before was grapevine stuff.
Well, I'm glad to hear you heard it from him because the last time I heard the words, "Oh, you haven't been told," didn't go well.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So what happened is he bought these shoes to take to the beach.
Yeah.
And, him and his wife walked to the beach. And he's like, it's like 75 yards from our hotel room. Mm-hmm. And he's like, now I got, my neuropathy of my feet. I take these shoes off I bought. And he's like, my toes are all bleeding because they were being rubbed raw and he couldn't feel it.
Oh, he couldn't feel it. Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
So he was like, So they'd spend their day at the beach or under whatever. On the way back, he just walks barefoot.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's bad. For anyone who's not diabetic, they highly do not recommend you going barefoot.
Yeah.
Because you can get cuts, and diabetics don't heal as fast.
Or you could be like Rodrigo and get second-degree burns on the hot asphalt and not know it.
Man. Oh, my God. Wow. He has that little a feeling in his feet? How does he even walk?
He told me, he's like, if I sit there for too long and stand up, I'm a little wobbly, but then I'm good.
Wow.
So,
oh boy, that's some strong beatus.
He, I'm trying to remember what he said. I think he got to their hotel and he was like, what? He's like something wrong with my foot. Oh, he said they had a little rinsing station to get the sand off your feet.
Oh yeah, right.
And he went to start rinsing his feet off, and he said he turned his foot over and he was rinsing skin off.
Oh God.
And he was like, hey honey, is there something wrong with my feet? And she started freaking out. And he turned to look, and there's bloody footprints.
Holy shit. Oh no.
Yeah, so Rodrigo and his wife went to the urgent care and got all all bandaged up, and he spent the rest of his vacation just chilling in the hotel room while his wife and his parents went out to dinner and brought him food back.
Oh my God, that sounds awful.
And then he was gone a few more days or another week, and he's back to work this week. Because I asked him, when I first saw him, I'm like, "Do you got pegs in there? What are you doing back?"
Yeah.
And apparently, despite the fact of the beatus, he must have Wolverine mutant healing factor, because he said his doctor was even like, "Wow, you're healing crazy fast."
Well, that's good because, like I was saying a minute ago, typically that's part of the concern is that diabetics do not heal as fast, and that can lead to infection.
He said his burns are healing faster than his cut up toes are.
Wow. Okay.
Which is wild. Yeah.
Jeez. Oh my God.
I know. Isn't that fucking crazy? You imagine leaving bloody footprints and not knowing it? Yeah.
Right. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, on the other side, you could be like, look, I'm like John McClane.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's insane to me.
Honey, get video of this. This is cool. You start quoting Die Hard as you're walking around.
And of course he asked me, "You didn't see the pictures?" And I was like, "Rodrigo, I don't want that shit living in my head." And then, I think 10 minutes later, he pops around the corner of his phone but it had nothing on it. I was like, you asshole.
That's a good joke. All right, yeah.
Oh, you know what? I was standing at the microwave heating up my lunch, and the phone.
Oh no, that could have went bad, man.
Yeah.
Imagine he.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, and he's like, I know you don't want to see it.
Yeah, he sends you a picture that looks like overcooked lasagna.
Dude. Oh God.
Oh no. Yeah, there's never a point where someone's like, "Do you want to see a picture of my feet?" That my answer is yes.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm good.
So I'm good.
Yeah, like I've gone. I've of course we've all seen gory, crazy shit on the internet, but I do my best to not.
Same here. Yeah, I've seen enough in my life. I don't
exactly like I'm good
between real life and the internet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
Oh my God.
So I guess it's
I'm glad he's okay though.
I know. I couldn't believe he was back to work because that's what got the conversation. I'm like, because I was asking him about some shit that I needed to do, and I'm like, real talk for a second, Rodrigo. I'm like, how are you back at work? You know?
Yeah.
And he even said he's like, if I could feel my feet, there's no way I would be here.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a blessing in that regard. That reminds me of Jen's one grandma. You know, when she got dementia, she always had a bad knee, and one of the upsides of the dementia was she forgot she had a bad knee.
Hell yeah, power through that shit.
So she just walked around. All of a sudden, the kind of hitch in her giddy up was gone, and it was because she forgot it hurt. I was like, okay, well, I guess there is a silver lining of some sort there.
Fascinating.
I mean, you know, it sucks. It's all going to be downhill from that, but you know.
So I went to a really, really divey dive bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is the latest Friday after work with my coworkers. Only a handful this time.
Well, they were afraid to go to it.
Yeah, right. First we went to this place out in Oregon called Patty Joe's. If for some reason you're ever out there, Brian, it's by the Meyer that's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
The food's delicious.
Okay.
Right?
Mm.
I can't remember because it's been a while since I recorded. They have a sandwich there called the I can't remember what it's called. Fuck. It's okay. But it's four smash burger patties.
Okay.
It's chicken strips tossed and fried in sauce.
Okay.
It's onion rings. It's pulled pork.
Okay.
Right?
That's a lot.
Yeah. Another dude I work with, I'm not going to protect the innocent here because he's never going to listen to this. He doesn't really know how the internet works.
Okay.
Fat Gary.
Yeah.
Him and I talk food all the time, especially local joints because he likes local restaurants, which I can approve of.
Sure.
And I was like, I gotta tell Gary about this fucking sandwich, you know?
Did you get it?
No.
Or did you just see it? Okay.
I heard about it because one of my friends, her and her wife go there all the time.
Oh, okay.
And she's always talking about it.
I was gonna say I would have been surprised because you don't normally go for that.
No, I don't do maybe when I was in my 20s.
Oh yeah, I would have for sure tried it then too. Or if T had been around, I'm sure T would have been like, let's go.
But Fat Gary's older than I am, and he got the sandwich.
Oh no, Gary, what are you doing? That's how you get the burnt feet.
Because I was walking by, and he's like, yeah, I heard, you know, Tony. I'm like, He's like, man, I sent you some shit on Facebook. And I'm like, Gary, I don't even look at it anymore. He's like, oh, well, let me show you his picture. And it's him with the picture of the burger, right?
I'm picturing he shows you Rodrigo's feet.
Yeah, Rodrigo's. Oh, God, I'd be so pissed.
That would have been a great joke, though.
So
like, hey, let me show you something.
So, dude, the first picture is the sandwich, and it's huge.
Right.
Like, it's fucking huge. And then the second picture is a sandwich cut in half for the cross section. Sure. And he's holding it in both hands, making this like,
right,
you know, like almost like he's a proud pop of a newborn baby.
Well, like that. Do you remember that there was that picture that went around the internet years ago? Where was that dude with that like giant hamburger?
Yes, yeah.
And he's just holding it with both hands. Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, was it good? Yeah, he says it was amazing. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to go. Of course, he ate the whole thing. He also said him and his quote unquote old lady had poutine for an appetizer. Which I love Gary, but he was like, that's some crazy name for French fries. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know, I had like gravy and cheese on it.
Oh, dude. Well, it's like it's either disco fries or poutine.
Poutine. Yeah. And so they had to order poutine, and then he's like, I ate that whole sandwich, and I had a side of mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh my God. Like I said, that's how you end up with burnt feet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude.
So
Gary, what are you doing?
I know, man? But obviously Gary knows his food, so now I'm sold on this place.
Sure.
So this is we're going here after work now. Fridays they have $2 off their burgers, and the way they do their smash burgers, they have single, double, triple. Single is 2 patties, 4 patties, 6 patties, because they're like smash burger, right?
Okay, yeah, right. I get it.
Although our waitress told me that she had a guy come in and he would always order extra patties, and he eventually ordered a burger with 20 patties and ate it all.
No thanks.
Right, fucking animal.
Jesus. Yeah.
But
no, thank you.
I got a really good burger, and their burger is like, pick your patties, pick your bun. It's kind of like Burger Bar 145.
Yeah, okay.
Here's some toppings, here's some sauces, here's cheeses. Yeah. I got burger.
I like that. As a man who likes certain things on burgers, I like the options in that,
It's sick.
Because a lot of times, how it is, you go to some of these burger places and you're like, oh, I'd really like that on my burger instead of this, or I'd like this bun instead of, whatever. It's nice that you can be like, I want a pretzel roll, I want this, whatever.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, pretzel roll, brioche, everything brioche.
Oh,
yes.
All right. Is it truly everything?
I didn't get it, so it might be. I don't know.
Like your house keys are on it. Yeah.
But yeah, I got burger, fries, 2 big dumb PBRs, and my bill was less than $20.
Oh, you didn't get a side of mashed potatoes?
No. But the food is killer. I definitely want to go back.
Okay.
And it's got a good vibe inside, besides the Kid Rock airbrush, maybe. But you know how airbrushing is all the thing. It kind of looks like Condado. Okay. But it's all music. It's all rock and roll, rap, country. And then like the rectangle tables are concert posters.
Okay.
And the round tables look like records.
There was a place that kind of did that years ago. Who was it? Jed's? There was some place I remember going with my nephew, and it was like that.
It might have been
They had
Jed's.
a bunch of music airbrush stuff, and they had like concert posters on the tables and stuff.
I mean, I saw the owner, and he is from the era of when Jed's was huge.
It could be that
he could be influenced by it for sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying he stole anything by any means. I just remember. I just remember there being some place that did that,
But so food is killer. We should definitely go.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Right now, let's go.
So yeah. So we were gonna eat food, and then we were gonna go to Buffalo Rock Brewing out in Oregon. As our secondary.
That's the newer one, right?
Yes.
No, that's the original one.
No, OG one's in Watertucky in Oregon. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, I know, right? We give a shit. But
I barely give a shit.
We had like 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, we got to find a pit stop, because I can't be in this restaurant anymore. Because once I'm done eating, I got to get out.
Right.
Unless for some reason, if you're sitting at the bar, it's different. If I'm at a table, once I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Well, unless you're gonna like keep drinking or something like that. But
even then, I don't feel like sitting at the table anymore. If I'm sitting at the bar, it's a different animal. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
So
fair enough.
It's just 2 of us now. It's my friend Kurt, myself. Everyone else peeled off. Mm-hmm. We found this place called The Den.
Okay.
It's The Den at Corduroy Convenience.
Okay.
So is
it a dive bar at a convenience store? Finally.
Yes.
I've been waiting for that for years.
There's 2 of them out there, but I'll get to that.
Not?
So we walk into the Den. It's clearly a convenience store, and then like a fence of some outdoor tables and like double doors bar. And I see an old lady sitting at the bar, and we wrench. I'm like, is it locked?
Yeah.
That's weird. So we go in through the convenience store, and there's literally the convenience store, and then there's saloon doors. So
I'm laughing, but I actually kind of love the corniness of that.
Yeah. So we go in through the saloon doors, and there's what I thought was an old woman at the bar was just a young man.
Wow. So Norman walked in and got beer goggles.
Yeah, apparently. And I sit down at the bar. There's no bartender.
Sorry, folks.
No bartender. I sit down. Kurt goes to the bathroom, and he just disappears into the darkness because it's so dark in this place.
And you still haven't found him again.
Yeah, right. And then this fucking, she was a nice enough woman, but this sea hag comes out of nowhere.
Right.
She's like, oh,
like there's like a fog, and then she comes out.
That's what it felt like, dude.
Yeah.
And she comes out of nowhere, and she's like, oh, what can I get you? And I'm like, I see they have a 2-hearted tap handle, but my brain, I'm like, how clean are these lines?
Yeah, she's like, do you want a 2-hearted or a 2-handed?
Yeah, I think I'll take a 2-handed and a 2-hearted.
I mean, maybe both. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, just give me 2 Busch Lights because we're only here for 1 beer before we get to the brewery, right?
Right.
So she kind of is like, she's like, what? I'm like, can I get 2 Busch Lights? And she's like, all right, and puts 2 cans in front of me, and I set one next to me.
I was waiting for it to be like that one bar to where it's like, I'll take a Miller Lite, and the guy just hands you the Bud Light or whatever. And just like, hey.
That guy now owns a very successful brewery in Sandusky.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've told me. That's
yes. Great. So Kurt comes out of the bathroom, and Kurt's, he's in his mid-30s, right?
She's hitting on him.
Dude, gotcha. She cards him. Like he sits down next to me, and she's like, honey, I need to see your ID. Amazing. And dude, this place, they apparently have food, because as I was leaving, there's a menu on the wall in the convenience store with something called the Baked Battleship. And in the bar, they advertise like chicken strips and a burger. Okay. But they had $5 pitchers of Busch Light, which if I would have saw that, I would have been like, oh, because the two cans cost me $4.50. I mean, who cares?
You might as well get a pitcher.
Yeah. If I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, well, whatever. I mean,
all right, really quick, what was the name of this place again?
The Den at Corduroy Convenience. I should pull it up for the YouTubers as well.
I'm looking up the Battleship.
See, I think they have a Facebook page because I tried looking up.
The Den at Corduroy Carryout Facebook.
There it is.
Okay. Oh, there's a menu down there. I should have pulled that up. Anyway, sorry. Go keep going with your story as I research.
Oh, sorry, I was also pulling it up.
Wow, there it is. Busch Light pitcher, $5.
And dude, there was no air conditioning.
Oh no!
Like it was just hot as fuck in there, and she's like on the phone, and the dude she's talking to sounded like Boomhauer. Just like you couldn't understand a word he was saying. Just
See, it's funny because you think of Boomhauer, but I also think of my years of being on a CB. When my dad and I used to travel, and there were so many guys that are like, and you're like, what?
Say what?
Yeah. And there were guys that would literally come on and be like, what the hell did you just say? And someone
there it is, the Den.
Wow. Fried food.
And like
mott sticks, cheese curds, onion rings, fries, mushrooms.
Like I'm looking at this picture. This is a very cleaned up version of what we saw. Oh, because actually at the top of their Facebook, there's a projector up there. You see that silver box in the middle?
Yeah. Yep.
That was just a hanging bracket. There was no projector anymore.
Oh, well,
because I looked up and I was like, oh, there used to be a projector here. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, but the place is just dingy and dark and covered in cobwebs. It was weird.
I love it.
It was fucking weird. So we had one and done, got out and went to the brewery, and I had a delicious milkshake IPA that tastes like an orange creamsicle. It's called Mr. Tangerine Man. It was so good.
That sounds amazing.
It was so good, dude. It was so good.
Oh, dang it.
But dude, and then I asked the bartender at the brewery. I'm like, you ever been to the Den? And she's like, oh yeah, we go to our time for, they used to have a really good karaoke. And then she's like, there's this other place like Vintners or something. She's like, it's another little weird dive bar and a carryout, but their pizza is so good. And now I'm kind of like, I got to check out this other place.
Gotta check out the pizza, man. Let's go. I'm in. Let's go.
We should definitely be doing this.
I'm down to go to a dive and try some sus pizza.
I mean, I know it's a busy weekend. Maybe next weekend.
All right.
Yeah. Unless you want to do it this weekend, Brian.
I might be able to figure that out. Oh, here we go. I finally got the baked battleships.
Yeah. Oh, what is the baked battleship?
Served with chips and dill spears. The steak and cheese battleship is prime beef with sauteed onions, mushrooms, sub sauce, topped with cheese on a hoagie bun. So they're subs is what they are.
Oh, so it's like is that a specific one, or are they all battleships?
They have 4 battleships. They have the Club Battleship with ham, turkey, roast beef, mozzarella, topped with shredded lettuce, diced tomato, and sub sauce. They have a buffalo chicken, which I don't think I have to explain.
Is the sub sauce just meh?
I don't know. It just says sub sauce. So, but then submarine is the last one, which is what? Ham, salami, pepperoni, moots, lettuce, onion, mozzarella cheese, which it already says, served with your choice of mayo or Italian dressing.
See,
no
like
sub sauce apparently on that one.
I feel like this picture that they have posted of these chicken quesadillas on April 10th.
Yeah,
I feel like this is just like stock footage.
I also feel like those chicken quesadillas they still have right now.
They very well might.
Like, oh no.
Oh, they have vodka. All right. Oh my God, they post some weird shit, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, kudos. I mean, nothing wrong with some sub sandwiches, but
I'm just looking at their Facebook posts.
What you need to do is sit down there and just be like, hey, is your bread locally made?
Yeah, right. That'd be funny. Yeah, the den was.
Yeah, because it scares you a little bit because you're kind of like in legitimacy is like, what is the turnover on that lunch meat that's in those sandwiches?
I would not order food from the den. Maybe mozzarella sticks because that's
I was gonna say
that's frozen in the fryer.
I was gonna say something that was cooked maybe, but not something like just deli meat. Because again, how long is that deli meat sitting?
Wait a minute. So what is a vendo? First off,
vendo.
Evendo. It looks like some sort of review site. Let me go back to the browser.
What wasn't that a song by Pearl Jam?
Yeah, maybe. Evendo. Yeah, you're right. It says the Den at Corridor, a hidden gem in Oregon. Experience the warmth of local dining at the Den at Corridor Carryout, where great food really meets a cozy atmosphere in Oregon, Ohio.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's a whole thing.
The thing is, like, looking at the reviews people wrote on their Facebook and stuff, it looks like it's a pretty beloved place.
Dude, it was so dirty inside. Like, I like a dirty bar.
Right.
But there was some cobwebs up there that looked like they might have been Halloween props.
Well, think about it, though. If you don't take them down, you don't have to decorate for Halloween.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? It's 4th of July. Nah, it's spooky 4th of July.
That's right. Just put spooky in front of it. Like, dude, it's Arbor Day. It's spooky Arbor Day.
Yeah. You ever considered spooky Arbor Day? Huh. I haven't, but now I am.
Yeah, right? Like, fuck me, what am I doing wrong?
Thank you for making me think, sir.
Exactly.
Huh.
Spooky St. Patrick's Day.
Spooky St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. So I had the den going on. That was a fun time, right? And I discovered probably my new favorite YouTube channel.
Okay.
Just accidentally. Have you ever heard of the magic of making?
No.
Well, let me tell you what, Brian.
Is that the name of the channel?
That is the name of the channel, yes. And it's the name of the show that the channel's based off of.
Okay.
Yes. So this is, I think, Saturday night, maybe. Maybe it was Friday night. I don't remember.
All right for fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't quite recall what night it was. But it was bedtime. And Michelle's like, hey, I'm going to take a shower. Like, cool, I'm going to play this game. Oh, I've been playing this game called Control. Very good, but I was very confused. I had no idea what it was.
Jackson song, yeah.
Yes. So I'm like, I can't play this game anymore. Let me just watch some YouTube and I'll play on my phone, right?
Sure. So I'm looking at like one where it's like magic of making like glass bottles and jars. Money.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. This is it.
Okay. I'm on the right thing. Okay.
So.
Ooh, a loaf of bread.
So I'm just going through my recommended, and one of them is like the magic of making glass marbles. And I'm like, well, shit, I work with glass, and I've never seen a marble get made. This might be interesting to just throw on in the background, right?
I love the idea behind this because it reminds me similar of that TV show that was called How It's Made.
So that's kind of what the vibe I was getting. And it's very well shot.
Right. Ooh, woolly sweaters.
It's got really good like music, right? And it opens up.
The glass marbles one. Yep.
Yeah, it opens up. I recommend you watch the glass marbles one. It's not very long.
Right.
So it opens up with music and the BBC, right?
Yeah.
And they're explaining everything. And then it's like, they're talking about how the glass blower has to stick his rod in the glory hole.
Sure.
And I'm like, I was like, what? All right. I was like, whatever. But I'm like, maybe that must be what they call the furnace, the glory. Okay. I'm playing on my phone, and then it's like, the master blower returns to his glory hole. And I'm like, all right, slow down. Lock my phone set, and I'm locked in.
Right.
This show
and you're like slowing the speed of it down so it's more sensual.
Dude, they said so much double entendre that I'm like, this has to be a bit. Right?
Right.
Like this has to be a bit.
Right.
So I watched.
Like, you can't say glory hole that many times and not know
dude, honestly,
what you're doing.
Honestly, talk about rods and stretching and gloves and all kind of like this is someone that found a show and is voicing over.
Okay.
Let me watch another episode. I watched the making of beer.
Right.
Still hilarious. All these, like, there's one part when it sounds like he's in a keg because he's being rolled down a hill. There's all this weird shit. And I'm like, this is hilarious. I watch another one. And then Michelle gets out of the shower and I'm like, I found the greatest YouTube channel. And she looked it up. It's legit show.
It is. Yeah. I was just looking.
It is a legit show.
This is legit shot for the BBC.
That it's like how it's made meets Monty Python is what it feels like.
Right.
And it's equally good for kids and adults, apparently. And I fucking love it.
That's great. Yeah. I was just looking through the stuff and I'm like, this actually, because I used to love watching that How It's Made show.
I was, literally laughing out loud at some of the stuff.
All right. I'm in on that.
You should. And the best one I've seen has been the marble one.
Right.
Because it does, it shows you how well shot the music and then just the fucking announcer with all his it's fantastic.
Well, maybe because it's British. Maybe because it's British, they can be a little cheekier.
That's kind of what I was wondering. And I don't know when,
like here somebody would probably be like harumphing about it.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. I highly recommend everybody watch The Magic of Making. Yeah. I subscribed.
I just did actually.
Excellent
I was
work.
Like, Tony doesn't lead me wrong very often.
Dude, it was fabulous.
Also, by the way, you cannot say this is the greatest YouTube channel because we've both seen Necrogoblicon.
Oh, so. Plus Salty Language Pod.
And Salty Language Pod.
Right. Early Necrogoblicon from what Michelle and I've discovered. The newer stuff is not as good.
No. Because I still need to go through and watch the podcast episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, those were great.
I guess that one lead singer left the band and became more focused on the goblin and the music's just not as good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that is too bad.
Yeah. What are you going to do, though?
That was great. Yeah.
I mean, it's still a good gimmick, though.
It's a great gimmick, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I love it. Love it. I haven't, big surprise, I haven't been playing a whole lot of anything. And it's funny, I'm watching different people talking about, like, Fluffy Bunny Ash is Democracy Spreader now.
Fuck yeah. Da-na-na-na. Dude, Super Earth is under attack. We need everybody to man the fuck up and go to Super Earth.
I was actually going to mention that maybe that, you, me, and Luther need to figure out some time to play. Because it's been a hot minute since we've all played together.
Dude, Dave introduced a weapon customization now. So you can,
I know that
you can level up your shit like in COD,
Yeah, like I've jumped on a couple times just to make to grab my
metal.
I can't think what they're called.
The medals.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I told Ashley about that too. I was like, hey, make sure you do that if you happen to skip some time not playing. Jump in, grab your stuff, and I told her about the cap, and we talked about a few different things, to where I was like, hey, here's some strategies that help me.
Why don't you all play together or join us?
Well, I haven't played it all, so yeah. But she fell into a thing like Cheeto did, which was that like she kind of sort of was doing some YouTube whatever, and she got invited to like big fancy Discord group or whatever, and she's been playing with some like high level people.
Yeah, but who's higher level than us?
Right. Who's better than Canyon? Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's been kind of funny that that I love how both of them were able to just kind of really participate in the community, and then these
it's
high level people
a
are
welcoming community,
right? That these high level people aren't like fuck off noobs, kind of a thing. They're more like, hey, come on, and I'll show you here. I'll throw you some weapons so you get to use some of this really cool stuff you haven't unlocked yet.
Yeah,
or
for
whatever,
sure.
That's dope, man. I love that.
That's what a good diver does.
I'm right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've been keeping up on my wrestling. Honestly, what I've been watching a lot of is hockey. These playoffs have been great, man. I've been watching a bunch of hockey. And then, with the walleye, I've been watching that because I can watch that locally. So we've been, I've been mostly watching that. And then afterwards, because I've been getting up for me early, I'm tired. And also, I'm sleeping like shit right now because
that's weird.
Right? Because grief and anxiety. So it's an awesome combination, man.
Oh, sounds amazing. Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really like watched much either. Like I'm falling behind in shows that I was watching.
I have a question for you. Do you have?
I do like gladiator movies.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Unfortunately, yes.
No. Do you have Apple TV?
I actually got a check. I got a three free months through Xbox.
Oh, nice.
And I got to see when it ends because I started Severance
season 2. Oh, season 2. I'm still in season 1.
Oh,
it's so good.
It's a great show. I'm in season 2. I'm only like 2 episodes in, but it's a fantastic show.
We're I think 6 episodes into season 1, and it's like we have a free month Apple TV, and I'm like, we must finish this.
We have to get through it.
Yes.
Well, that's what with me. I got to check to see when mine ends.
Okay, so I'm so glad you're watching it because it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Oh,
so because I'm very much a for the short term, especially, I'm gonna have to really kind of shut down external expenses until I figure out what's going on for sure.
Power to shields.
Yeah. Right. So Apple TV, Apple TV is one of those that I think has really come on. There's a lot of really good shows on.
Yeah, I know. I've been kind of looking around. I'm like, fuck, am I gonna have to cancel something and get Apple TV?
Right? Yeah.
Because I've been using Apple Music too because our Spotify premium ran out.
Oh,
and this thing Michelle got a free trial for. It's the family Apple One. So so it's like Apple Arcade, Apple TV.
Oh yeah,
like extra cloud storage and Apple Music.
When I bought my phone, I got that.
Yes.
I think it was like 3 months of all of it.
I've been digging Apple Music.
I did too. Honestly, my biggest thing I loved about Apple Music was that since I have all my music in my iTunes, it'll save it.
Yes.
And then you can do playlists off of your own music,
which is cool.
So yeah, and I was like, that's something that Spotify doesn't. I think Spotify sort of offers something like that, but it isn't the same. And with the Apple one, you can basically pick it up and go wherever if it's an Apple device, I think, and you can just start playing off of your library. So you don't have to be like local or near a hard drive that has it on it. I can just use it on my phone or whatever. So there was some. I don't know if things have changed since then, but when I had it, it was that, and I was like, oh, if I were to switch, this is the reason.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm always like, man, I wish I could back up my music somewhere that wasn't a hard drive.
Right. All mine's on a hard drive that I haven't plugged in a while, and I'm a little scared.
Yeah. Mine's on my laptop, and I think I have it on another hard drive. But, yeah.
Yeah, Severance is so good.
It's a great show. Yeah, I've heard the studio is really good too. I've heard
that, and I got told today, Shrinking is really good with Jason whatever and Han Solo.
Yeah, or Seagal. I think it's Seagal.
Yeah, Steven Seagal and Han Solo.
Steven Seagal on Han Solo. Yeah, and there's other shows on there that I've watched that were strong too. So it's it's very much come on as a viable.
It's so weird.
Option. Yeah, because when I first had it, it was like I watched Central Park, which is from the Bob's Burgers creator, or like one of the creators or two, I don't remember. And the only which it's a great show, but it's got a lot of musical to it, which I don't love.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But it's a funny and good show. And there was what was it? There was another show. It had Ron Funches in it, and
Bunches of
Maya
Funches.
Rudolph. No, it had Maya Rudolph and Ron Funches, and I think Adam Scott was in it too. It's like basically she gets divorced from her husband, and then so she gets like his business and his money and all this. And it like in the first season, basically, the more she tries to do good and help, she just fucks everything up. Right. So where at one point they're like, "Can you just get out of our way? Like you're hurting us. Like you know, if you want to do something." Like I think at one point they're trying to be more environmental friendly, and she shows up in like a fleet of Escalades.
Nice.
You know, shit like that. And she goes, "Well, I got rides for everybody," you know. And they were like, "Yeah, we're trying to be better for the the ecosystems, and you're rolling up in these massive SUVs." You know?
I don't see the problem here.
God, I can't think of the name of the damn show. It's gonna bug me a little bit now. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, there's like I said, there's other good shows on there too. So
can I tell you something that's weird?
Maybe.
So you know my potentially unhealthy obsession with Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah.
And the itch that it scratches.
Oh, really quick, the show's called Loot. Loot is the name of it.
Give me the loot. Yeah. Give me the loot.
Yeah. The first season was good. I don't know if the second season's any good or not, but the first season was good.
So there's this weird sect of Monster Hunter, and they're on. There's a subreddit for it. It's just called Fashion Hunters, which of course I joined.
Sure,
because I'm like, fuck yeah, I can post my drip now, you know?
Yeah, right.
But there's this weird sector of it, and it's just people making their avatars in the skimpiest outfits possible within the limits of the game, and then just posting like booty shots, and it's like, are people jacking the Monster Hunter?
Probably.
Yeah. I don't even understand that.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
I just want to chop things up with my chainsaw axe, you know?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
People are fucking weird, dude.
People sexualize everything. Yep.
I wish it'd sexualize our show.
You know what I wish they would sexualize?
Patreon.com.
Touch it all you want.
Exactly. Molest it. Stroke it. Yeah. Love it.
Oh, shit. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Oh, man. So, you know, it's kind of funny in that, you know, I led the show off with, you know, talking about death.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, I did want to talk about George Wendt dying.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Because, you know, I grew up loving Cheers, and he's been on other stuff too, but honestly, it's like everybody knows him from Cheers.
It's Norm.
You know, it's Norm.
Like if you'd see him in a show, you'd be like, "Oh shit, Norm's in this."
Yeah, it's like one of my friends posted what's my favorite. I think probably my favorite one of, you know how like whenever he walked in, and Sam would be like, you know, "Hey, how's it going, Normie?" Or whoever would, you know, the bartender would say, "Hey, you know, what's going on?" And then one day when he walks in, he's like, "It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing Milk-Bone underwear." And that line, every time I think of it, I just laugh. And he was such a great character on that show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I saw there was somebody.
Every bar has that guy.
Oh, for sure. He's that guy that's always there.
Every bar has
when his
that
wife
fucking
calls,
guy.
Yeah, and when his wife calls, "I'm not here" type of guy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, for sure. That's why he was such a good character. Because everyone could identify with it.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody knows him. That's why I read something where they asked him about getting cast in the role. And he goes, "I just think they were looking for someone with my gut." And he goes, "And I look like I belong at a bar."
I mean, he's not wrong.
He does. He looks like that guy that every bar has. And
absolutely.
You know, yep. And I saw a clip, too. I forgot about this episode where Frasier and Lilith are in there with their kid. And Lilith is basically like, you know, he's never going to learn how to speak in this bar. And then Norm comes in and the kid's like, "Norm." It's like his first word is Norm.
Cheers was the best. Let's be honest.
Oh, it's a great show.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember, a couple years ago, I did a watch through of, I went all the way through Cheers and all the way through Frasier off of after that. So, you know, and it was the first time I'd ever sat down and watched every episode. As far as I know, every episode. You know, I don't, you know, sometimes there's ones that get pulled for, you know, whatever reason.
Right.
But it was, yeah, great character, great actor. Like I said, I've seen him in other stuff. He was great in everything I saw him in, but he was for sure, he was Norm.
He was always and forever Norm.
Yeah. You know, it's not like Ted Danson where he's had multiple roles to where you're like, well, he's been this and he's been it's everybody knows George Wendt.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, or Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Whatever happened to Shelley Long?
I don't know, man. She kind of just disappeared, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she just stopped. You know, it's weird though because of being a woman. You know how Hollywood is with.
Oh, I mean, look at Christy Alley. I mean, shit.
Yeah, for a long time. You know, it was once you hit a certain age, you're pretty much done until you hit another age. Now you're grandma material for movies and TV shows. You know?
Unless you're Selma Hayek.
Or Helen Mirren, man.
Or Helen
Mirren's like 85 and still, she could still get it.
I mean,
you know?
would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Salma Hayek's what, 60 now or almost 60? And Jesus Christ.
I mean, would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, like she'd ever let you get close to her. Yeah.
I mean,
but
anyway. I'm swarthy.
Yeah. Swarthy. I mean, you know, Tarantino did it best, man. What you got to do is you got to, you know, be a successful or a film director and then get her to let you lick her foot.
Yeah, like pour champagne down her leg, into your mouth, off her foot. Who are you going to cast for that? Oh, it's me.
Right. And have her do maybe one of the most famous strip scenes type in any movie.
Yes.
With a snake.
And a real snake. Quentin was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he was.
He looks lizard-like.
Yeah. He probably is.
Probably is.
Wait, is he one of those Hollywood lizard people?
Oh, I've heard about these people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brian, we're probably at the time of the show. We should maneuver into the queue to dubs.
I got two quick things, and then we can do it.
Let's do it.
Which was staying along the lines of things for people that died.
You just open up the case of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I don't know if you saw or not. Morris, the alligator from Happy Gilmore, died. So now, literally, the scene with Lincoln,
it's real.
the gator, and
Chubbs.
Carl Weathers. Chubbs. I couldn't think of the character. Yeah, it's real now.
Oh, my God. I did not see that.
Yeah, he was 80 years old, though, so he lived a pretty long life.
God damn, 80 years of slinging gator dick? Damn.
Oh,
damn, Morris.
Apparently, he was, what was it? He was in Happy
he
Gilmore?
Morris from Morris Day into Time?
Yes.
I knew
you didn't know that? He was in Happy Gilmore, Dr. Dolittle 2, Interview with the Vampire, Eraser, and Blues Brother 2000.
God damn.
And he also was on Jay Leno one time with Steve Irwin.
Damn. Hollywood legend, Morris the Gator.
He was forced to retire after he tore up the set of 90s sitcom Coach.
I mean, we've all saw Late Coach. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he becomes the coach of the Dolphins.
Oh, God.
Oh, got so bad at the end.
Yeah, hopefully that's when he tore everything up. He was just upset at the script.
Right? And speaking of tearing things up, the last one is, did you see that Sabu died?
I did not see that Sabu died. That's sad.
And for those who don't know, Sabu was an extreme wrestler, part of ECW. And I mean, he wrestled everywhere, basically, though. But he was one of the guys known for the hardcore wrestling and maybe one of the absolute craziest dudes to ever do it. Like, literally, he died at 60, and he had his last match like a week before that.
Of course he did.
Because he's crazy.
Yes.
And his uncle was a character years ago known as the Sheik, not Iron Sheik for those who aren't wrestling fans, but the Sheik. And his uncle did a lot of this crazy shit too, like stabbing dudes with forks and all sorts of things like that, throwing chairs at people. But Sabu
in the DNA.
took it to a whole nother level. Like his uncle trained him, and he took his uncle's like craziness and probably dialed it up 100. Yeah. I remember watching early ECW with you, like when we first were watching, and we were like, "What? Who the fuck is this guy?" Throwing himself off the top rope into like barbed wire and chairs.
Yes. Oh, that's just Sabu. No big deal.
And it wasn't. He just popped right back up and get after it. Bleeding like crazy, half his face hanging off, and was just still finished the match.
Were you saying boo or Sabu?
Oh, we were saying Sabu for sure.
Definitely saying Sabu.
Sabu, yeah. But yeah, so that was a little. I mean, 60 for him, and given the way he
Jesus
wrestled.
Christ, I know, right? I'm surprised he was that old, honestly.
Yeah. Also known for tearing up the set of Coach at the end. No.
yes, yeah, for sure. That was in season 5.
Yeah, it was a very odd episode. It was like him and Morris were both on the same episode. It was very weird. It was
crazy.
Yeah, like, But anyway, that was that. Dude, it was tough watching AEW that week because Taz is one of the commentators on AEW.
Yeah.
And dude, Taz had to basically run through his like tribute because I think if he would have stopped, he was going to lose it. And then they immediately, I think, cut his mic and went to somebody else so that, because him and Sabu were very good friends. You know? And they had a lot of crazy ass matches together. So, I'm sure, and they traveled together, all that kind of, so.
Oh, they probably did all kinds of weird shit together.
they were brothers, like a lot of those guys, because ECW, that was a weird like Carney family of wrestling.
Carney is the perfect name for that.
Yeah, well, think about it, right? I mean, you have Paul Heyman at the front of it. I mean, who's more of a carnival barker than Paul Heyman ever?
Exactly.
He's one of the greatest to ever do it. So, yeah, but sad that the guy died. But in fairness, kind of sounds like he sort of like almost went out doing what he loves. So, more power to him.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really weird though, because I think it was the week. Can't remember if it was like that week or the week after. Dark Side of the Ring, the episode was about the Sheik.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was because Sabu's in the episode talking about his uncle.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is kind of weird that this is, and they didn't move it up because of Sabu's death. That was where it was going to be slotted.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. So that's what I got as far as that stuff goes. So,
bueno.
Let's QoftheW.
Q to dubs. Like many moons ago. We asked y'all.
Oh, yeah, it was.
What is a red flag you're attracted to?
Right. Extreme wrestlers.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Lady Cheeto is actually our only Facebook comment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
The bad boy. Tattoos, long hair. L had hair when I met him. Ooh, sick burn.
Oh, okay.
And he had long hair before I met him. Ha, ha, ha. Beard, bandana, cheesy pickup lines, and lots of flattering compliments. There you go.
Right.
We'll flip it over to the Instas.
Wow, that was one hell of a compliment / slap in the face. Dang.
Right. Speaking of slaps in the face, we got nothing on Instagram.
Oh, wow. All right.
So that's all I got, Brian.
Wow. People just didn't want to admit to it. That's all it is.
Exactly.
They didn't want us to know how crazy they really are. All right. Well, I have Cheeto's answer is all I have.
Oh.
And it's red flag I'm attracted to. Batshit crazy, obviously. You've met my wife.
I like hearing both sides of the story here.
Me too.
This is fun.
The best part is, because you and I are these kind of people too, which is we bust balls and we like people that bust balls back. So I love the fact that they both
bust balls.
Busted ball. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
See what I did there?
Yeah. See, I
know Luther will get it.
I'm a big fan of.
I'm such an asshole.
You'll be all right, Brian. I like busting ball.
Yeah.
But not for lifetime grudges.
Right.
Which is a very inside joke for like maybe 3 people that might listen to this.
That's fair. Oh man. Oh. If only I could quit coughing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what we got for this week. I've got 10 for you to pick from.
Whoa. Fucking 10?
Yep.
How about 9?
9?
Yeah, 9.
All right. What was the moment in your life? Wow, this is funny. What was the moment in your life when you thought, I'll never be the same again?
Oh, I mean, obviously birth of children.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like the
yeah.
I don't even know how to put, but like the easy right answer.
Man, where's our
whoops.
When's the last time you saw a cloud that looked like a dick type QoftheWs? What's all these deep thoughts all of a sudden?
Sorry, man. I've been deep lately.
So deep, put her ass to sleep.
Yeah. No, these were actually, I had these well before any of this happened.
Oh.
Yeah, like for me at this point, I really think, honestly, I think it was when my dad died.
Yeah.
because I think that was really a first.
That's a blow.
Super significant loss.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
You know, I had other loss in my life before that, but that was the first one. And honestly, I haven't been the same since. And not in. I mean, I know you know, well, I'm not the same as I. You know, it's like it's not even that. It's just literally that altered me.
Yeah.
And changed me a lot. So I think that would probably be it. Because obviously I've never had kids. So.
You got a cat that ignores you. It's like having kids.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And at least she's not costing me a ton of money yet. So
yeah, exactly right.
Yet.
Yeah, not like the cat I just spent $25 on a bag of food the last 2 weeks. Fucking little bitch.
Well, I figure if she starts costing me too much money, she becomes an outdoor cat.
Yeah, you goddamn right.
Just like a kid.
Exactly.
You live out here now. Oh shit. You know, it's one thing that's interesting. I forgot to mention this earlier. So my mom would put out some peanuts for the squirrel every day because we have a squirrel that comes up on our deck, and
it's actually me.
Yeah,
like fuck yeah, more free peanuts.
It could be. It wouldn't shock me if it was you, and gnawing on a corn cob out there too. Yeah,
I mean
that's that seems less like you because of that tooth.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't gnaw anymore.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
I gum gently.
You're like a hockey player. You just take your flapper out.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, so I've still been putting peanuts out there, but I'm forgetting about it because first of all, she did it, you know, so it's not in my muscle memory yet. But also, I was talking to the neighbor across the street, and she goes, like when we finally told her what happened, and she goes, I thought something might have happened. She goes, I've noticed that the squirrel's been coming over here every day now. And she goes, I've been giving him peanuts. And I was like, he's probably just a squirrel whore, basically. You know, he's just going to go wherever the peanuts are. But
I like how the squirrel's shaking down your neighborhood for peanuts.
I know, right?
What the fuck?
He's got like a whole trade going on, you know. But it is funny, though, because, I mean, he's been out there. Like, my sister put out a fresh... I didn't know this for a long time. Like, if you put out, like, corn, they'll eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know,
dude,
I didn't know that.
My little picnic table we built is to put squirrel corn on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, so I've been buying, you know, for a long time now. I've been buying like, you know, full ears of corn that are like hardened.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just
squirrel
gnaw
corn
them off.
Squirrel corn.
Yeah. And the other day, my sister put one out there.
You could pop the top of some cream corn, just set it out there.
That's how I can tell if it's you or the squirrel.
Yeah, right.
If it's the cream corn, you're like, you know, it's all over the porch.
There's an obvious beard print in it.
Right, yeah. Bloody footprints.
Footprints. Oh, Rodrigo.
Oh, Rodrigo, yeah. But we normally put that corn out there the other day, and he was sitting out there just, you know, just making a giant mess. It's like, are you even eating this? Like, there's corn all over my damn porch.
See,
like, I don't think he eats it. I think I don't know if they just sharpen their teeth or do they actually eat it.
I think they eat it.
Because it makes me wonder because there was a lot of it on my porch.
Because I will when I put our sign of life from the neighbor. I haven't seen any activity over there in a while.
Well, that's good, I guess.
When I did the corn out there, because it's like I have a screw through the bottom of this mini picnic table, so I screwed a corn cob onto it.
That's what we do.
And it'll like in a day and a half, it'll just be a stripped corn cob. And I'm sure birds are helping
put it out there
too.
2 days ago, it's gone. Yeah, right.
But I've seen the squirrel sitting at a stupid little table eating corn. So
okay,
yeah,
I haven't seen him actually eat like I see him like gnawing on.
I mean,
thing.
if you look at
the other day, he was gnawing, and
table,
I just see corn going everywhere.
It has a menu, and corn is on the menu.
Oh, I know. I remember that because I love that. Yes. Yeah. So, all right. Well, if you want to learn more about squirrels and corn, head over to saltylanguage.com. Probably not going to learn much there about it.
Man, that needs to be like our new like offshoot podcast, Squirrels and Corn.
Squirrels and Corn, yeah. And it's just about squirrels and the band Corn.
Yes, for sure.
Of course.
The Q in squirrels is backwards.
All right.
Can't do the R. Seems like trademarky.
True. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, we'll head over to saltylanguage.com.
Please.
You can find any links that we have and links to our socials and whatever. You can also find the link there to tangenbaumnetwork.com, so please go check out the stuff there. And say hi to Mark if you need a place for your podcast. And if they talk to Mark, what do you got for him? It's been a couple weeks.
Books now,
You've been pent up.
What else you getting your dirty paws into?
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, you know what I'm disappointed though is it's not erotica.
Maybe it is.
I really wish it was erotica.
But it would be Mark Erotica.
That's fine.
Or is it Marotica? Nah, I like Mark Erotica.
No. Yeah. Because I want him to come on our show and read his erotica essentially.
Dude, do you think Mark's adult author name would be like Mark Donger?
Probably.
Or Dogner or whatever.
Dogner?
Dogner.
Boner. No, it's just Mark Boner. It's just Mark Boner.
Mark Boner. Yeah, you're right.
It's basically right there.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to change his business card.
Exactly. Yeah, oddly enough, he had a weird typo.
Yeah, exactly. But it
works out for the best now.
It all sparked in he's never going to hear this. That's what annoys me. God damn it.
Can you imagine, right? So he gets his business cards back. They misspell his name and it's Boner, Boner, right?
Yes.
And he goes, oh, man, and then down the road, somebody was like, so how'd you get into erotica? Like, funny story, actually.
All right. I just wrote the time for this down, and now I got to try to remember to pull this and make it a thing and tag him in it.
He'll love it.
Because Mark,
at it, I'm sure.
When I do this, and you better be watching,
and we know he is.
I'm making eye contact with the camera.
Oh, I thought that was at me.
We shout you out every week, you son of a bitch. But we do it with love.
We do, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out. If you want to follow us on socials, you can follow us on Twitter at salty_language. You can follow me on various social medias that I'm on at Stunami. Although right now I haven't been posting a whole lot for some reason.
It's like you've been busy or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've posted a couple. I mean, there was one I posted the other night that was maybe the most raw tweet I've ever posted.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
You can find me.
I'm in my feels right now.
Of course.
You're going through my blue period.
Yeah, you're in your feel era.
Yeah.
Of course, you can find me at Demonotony on the Instagram, at Salty Language on TikTok. Yes, I do check it out, not as much as I used to. For some reason, I'm not plugging it, but I'm back on Snapchat. It's fun. I forgot how silly the filters are. Who cares? Patreon.com/Salty Language if you want to hook up your boys or just help us out. We already appreciate it because, I mean, the show pays for itself now, and that is more than I could have ever dreamed of 7 years ago when we started doing this.
Wait, did you say 7?
Well, I mean, about 3 years in, I was like, that'd be cool if this thing started paying for itself.
Oh, yeah.
And then it finally is. It's wild to me.
Yeah.
It's nice not having to worry about that bill.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
And so it's a beautiful thing. Thank everybody.
Yeah. I have another podcast called The Crazy Life, which me and Heno need to get together. And I mean, it's so funny because talking with him, it's like, you can tell he wants to be there for me and stuff, but it's so hard when it's, you're online basically, right?
Yeah.
You can't, there's only so much that a person can do. And you know how it is too. It's like you get flooded with everybody telling you if you need anything, contact me.
Of course.
But also the problem is when you're drowning, sometimes you don't realize certain things you might need.
Yeah, also true.
I'm trying very much to, ask people for things. I'm also trying to make sure I'm not isolating because I have depression and anxiety, and these are not good combinations. Grieving and isolation are bad news together. So, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'll talk about it on Crazy Life eventually, but the bad thoughts have ramped up hard in my head. And, but that's also appropriate for what's going on.
Of course.
And I don't mean bad thoughts as in I'm going to harm myself. I'm in no danger in that regard.
Right.
But, a lot of self-doubt and, oh, man, this is bad and this is going to, all that. Anyway.
It's a scary time.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And, anyway, so, yeah, go check out The Crazy Life. We usually talk about mental health stuff, what's going on in our lives. The next episode's probably going to be pretty freaking heavy.
Can I recommend you call it Crazy Life Giant Size Edition?
Ooh. Like I did with ours?
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes.
A couple of ours where we did big ones, and I was like, oh, we should do that like comic books.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry. You're right. The comic books makes more sense for this show. It should be a very special Crazy Life.
It really should.
Coming up on a very special Crazy Life.
Yep. Because I haven't talked on that show at all about any of this because it's been that long ago.
It's been on hiatus, kind of. Yeah.
Too long. Yeah, that's why I said maybe I'll try to get with Heno and do something this week or early next week. Or, well, probably not early next week. I'll be a little busy then.
I would imagine
anyway,
so.
Yeah, but go check out The Crazy Life if you would. We'd appreciate it. Yeah. And then, of course, I guess, even though I've had multiple people advise me against this recently, have a beer, you'll be fine.
I mean, I had one tonight, and I feel amazing. But also,
I've had a couple people ask me, like if I'm, drinking, and I'm like, even if I did, I'm beyond that point. Like, I'm not the, hey, let's go drown our sorrow. I mean, even if I did, it'd be a one-off.
Oh yeah. It's like
you know that as well as anybody.
It's like,
I'm not out drinking 20 beers anymore.
It's the let's go blow off some steam, have a couple beers, have some laughs. Not I'm gonna kill this bottle of Jack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, again, I got 3 bottles of whiskey sitting in my room. I haven't touched them.
Right.
Yeah. If I was really looking to get fucked up, I would have already gone through those bottles.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, so yeah, it's like, so for anyone listening, and stuff, first of all, I want to say really quick, thank you to anyone who's reached out to me. I appreciate it. I really do. It's like, because so many people don't have to.
Right.
And even clicking like on the obituary or the night that I posted that my mom died, whatever. Those are things that I know they only take seconds, but people don't have to do that stuff.
For sure. Absolutely.
They could just be like, meh, and keep scrolling, So I appreciate anybody who's reached out to me, who's offered any sort of help, or, if you're, if I need to talk or whatever. It's amazing. I appreciate it. My family appreciates any kind words people have said. It's been overwhelming, but in the best way. So I want to say that as well.
Yeah.
But after that, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Stay salty, everybody, and
so salty.
Let's get the